Hi everybody. In this video we will talk about how to insert, update, delete or change data inside the XML document. So firstly we need to add an ID attribute to this. So the ID here is an attribute for each of the objects. So we have each of the theme has an unique ID or the key. So we have you can set the value for this using integer or a random of mix number and string. So it is key or ID. So in the previous lesson we have a query XML file method, and now I want to define a new insert to XML document, and the input parameter is file name, and this is the object. The dictionary here is an object with key and value, for example name and email, with the value of email and the value of name. So it is a pair of key and value, and we load the file content to the XML document, and we use the timestamp as a unique ID here by get the current timestamp and add. Now I add a new element to the existing array of themes. So we have a new element here with the attributes, the is attribute or XML attribute, and the X element, it means XML element, and it according to the name and release year and the ID and the ID for its attribute. So you can add it using this field. So after that you can save the file. So calling this by using the input parameter, a new dictionary object with key, string and value is also string. Then I set the key for name is the blind sign, and the key release year with the 2909, and we call the function insert to existing XML document. So we add a new theme as the input parameter for this method. So before insert we show the container themes.xml, and we have a new here you want to add insert to the end. So you, after running .NET run, you can check again the theme.js.xml. So we see that the new element has that inserted to here with the content I insert. Yes, so you see that it is the ID. The ID is the current timestamp in millisecond or second. So it is unique because each of the time is independent. So if you use the add first mean it will add to the top. It will add to the top of the list in the XML document. So replace the add with the add first method. So after running, comment out this code line, and after running this we can see that this is a new value and clear. See the container theme.xml is want to add insert to the top here. So we want to add insert to the top by .NET run and see the result. Okay, so I see that the new element has been added to the first element before the first element, or in the top or at first. We can update an existing element by the input parameter with the file name, the ID for update, and the new value or the updated value I call updated theme object. It is a dictionary with the key, string, and the value also string. So the dictionary is key value pair. So this is data source. The data source will be add here with the condition, and the condition here I use an anonymous function. An anonymous function is a function with the parameter in the left, and in the right we have the implementation. So inside the implementation we can add multiple lines to this but in this case we have only one parameter and one code line for the implementation, so we remove the curly brace and the open and close bracket. And after finding this existing element, I can update this existing element depending on the current value or the new value. So remember to use the anonymous function. It is very important because it is used something like with no name, and many cases we use its function. After updating, you have to check for the input parameter. You only update if the input parameter available. So if the input parameter not or unavailable, the update will not be performed. So you update using the set element value for updating field by field, step by step, field by field. Yes, so here I update the field name, and secondly I do similarly with release year. We update the value for release year, and I save this file. I save this file to save the change. I can call this static function in the main function. We can comment out this code line. It is not necessary. Comment out to see only one result for easier to distinguish between previous and next command. So this is the updating field. Yes, the updating field will contain the new value or the updating value for this. So if you want to update this field with ID 1, so remember the ID to update is 1. So I use this ID, and this is the new value. For example, Star Wars, and the release year will be changed. And after running this with the existing key, yes, 1, and the updating field is a new value or the updating value. It will change the value, and after calling cat, we see that the old data here, and after running .NET run and see the new value for themes.xml, we see that it is a new value or updated value. What about the name? You can change the name for Star Wars 1, and this is secondly we change to 1977. Yes, and after running we can see the output. Okay, it is updated successful. And that is another case when you do not want to update, so the value will unchanged. For example, I comment out this, so the data is unchanged. Yes, so let's check by running .NET run and see. So we see that the value here unchanged, and this is value, the new value, and the value unchanged if you do not call the update function. Okay, so comment out this. We also have another method for delete an element, an existing element. It is quite simple. We also need file name and the ID for delete the elements ID. So I search for the ID for the existing element. I search for the ID with the attribute ID value is the value of ID, the input ID parameter. And yes, if I found this, we have two cases. One case, element found if the existing element not null, otherwise the element do not found. If it is not found, you write a line to the console. And another case, when the existing element is not known, you can remove this and save the file content to update the new change. So if you want to delete this element, you remember the ID. So you have to copy the ID. So I will copy this ID by right click copy, and save to this, and I can delete an element with this existing ID. Yes, with its existing ID, and the input parameter is the themes.xml, the file name for searching. And after running, so firstly check for the theme.xml, and you see that this is the existing theme, and I want to delete this theme. So I call .NET run to run the program, and see the new themes after updating by calling cat. Okay, so we do not find anymore, and the deletion is successful, and you delete one time again by calling .NET run. Yes, and I see that the output part when we cannot find element to delete. Okay, so this is end of my lesson today about how to link queue with XML to update, delete, insert data in an existing HTML file. Thank you so much for watching.